Alright, what's up YouTube? We back out here with another video. We out here Ironman weekend in Pennsylvania. We're currently right now in Bald Eagle State Park. We're about to get an open water swim. This is where our swim starts. And then right after the swim, we're gonna go ahead and get on the bike, get a little pedal session in, just get the legs going. And then, yeah, we're gonna see if we can record some clips while we're riding the bike, maybe some while we're swimming, and we'll catch you on a bit. Recording? Is it red? Alright, we're trying to get this dang wetsuit on. Oh. Don't worry about BBL, you know what I'm saying?
You're not putting that in your
BBL. Get the sweatsuit on, check out the water so we can get this swimming. Yes, sir. Alright, let's take the mic off for a second. 1 second. Did you bring it?
Yeah.
Or should follow us on the bike?
Yeah. We can follow you on the bike.
Alright. Let's see how it's feeling when we get out there. Oh, you know what? I'm going with no goggles. It's hot as shit. Put these earplugs in and we go out to get it. Ironman weekend. Let's get it. All right, we just finished our open water swim. We swam way out there. And then these fuckers got us. So now we got a court date. When? I don't know. We're going to get in the middle sometime next week. Supposedly, he was only supposed to stay between the swimming area, buoys, and that's it. But there's like barely anywhere for us to swim. There's a lot of people over there swimming, a bunch of kids and everything. So we decided to swim around kind of the course line where the course is going to be and come back. It's a little different from where we're from. Those little white buoys out there are kind of our swimming area in Claremont, but not out here, I guess. But yep, they got us. We're gonna get a court letter, and it's in between $25 to $300, depending on what the judge decides. So hopefully she's in a good mood, and maybe she doesn't give us a fine, or we might have to go to court. All right, we out. All right, about to go get a little shakeout right in. It's a little windy, so hopefully we don't get caught in crosswind. But we get some clips on the bike. We'll catch on a little bit. We are on the bike. Yeah. Little shakeout ride, get them legs spinning, and we gonna be good. Let's get it. All right, so we're just gonna do a little shakeout ride. Go like 14 miles, easy ride just to get the legs moving, spinning. But yeah, now we're gonna go to the cabin, get a shower in, and then head over to check in. We have officially made it. Ironman Village. We're here, we're about to go check in. Get our stuff, get our bag. Get our stickers for the bike. Bib numbers. Yes, sir. We're here. Yeah! Walking into the Ironman Village. We made it.
This is just a regular bottle left over there. I don't even need this one up there.
All day, blue cross.
Time to check in.
Hi. And I also put it in
How you doing? Getting the check-in.
So you're also going to go, you can take those appreciation bands for volunteers the day of the race.
Okay.
And then your chip will be at the next table.
Wait, this one here?
Yeah.
Thank you. We've officially checked in. This is the bag. Ooh. We got our first Ironman 70.3 bag. We're ready to go. We'll give y'all a walkthrough of everything that we got in the bag once we get over to the cabin.
Welcome.
All right, catch y'all in a bit. All right, y'all. So this is what we get in the Ironman. Get a nice bag. It says Ironman Happy Valley 7.3, Pennsylvania. This is a North American Championship race, so there'll be pros out here. This is all the stuff you get when you get over there. Don't know what this is exactly. Some triathlon store. This is your morning bag, so all your essentials that you're gonna bring before the race, clothes, shirts, anything that you wear before the race, Crocs, slides, shoes, anything, it all goes in here, and then they'll send it over to the second transition. They give you a shirt when you check in. Oh, they give you a tracker, so this is the tracker. Swim cap, with your numbers on it. It says what the race you're doing. Coupons or frames. This is your bike run gear bag. So anything you're gonna use during the run goes all in here. Same thing for the bike. And there's just a bunch of extra stuff. This is your race number packet. So, stuff you need to check out your bike when you get over, when you finish the race. And then these are all the stickers that goes on your helmets and the bike. And essential bags. The bib is in here somewhere. Race day bib, so you gotta wear this on during the bike and run. Yeah. So now we're gonna lock in. We're gonna put the stickers on the bike. And yeah, it's almost about that time. What's up, YouTube? It is day 3 of us being out here in Pennsylvania. We're about to go ahead and get after it. We're gonna go ahead and head over to the Pro Series press conference, and then we gotta check in the bike today. We're gonna check in the bike. We got all the stickers on, and then we'll catch y'all when we get over there. But it's gonna be a great day, a good adventurous day, and yeah, tomorrow's race. We're gonna get after it.
We're gonna get a picture with in front of the Pro Series bag. Let's hear it for 'em. You can be loud. You tried to do what Grace did and go back to back, but you had a little bit of fatigue set in. What did you learn from that block, and how are you going to execute differently tomorrow?
Great question. Yeah, I didn't have the minerals Grace had, so I had to refocus. I don't know that I necessarily learned anything about like how to race for this race per se. It was more just about life being really busy, life being really stressful. I traveled back and forth from the East Coast to the West Coast, back and forth twice in that 1 week, and I also got like an additional 14 hours of travel delays, but it was the only option, so the travel just really added up, and I don't know, I showed up and I was the worst version of myself since 2019. I did go back and check, and I haven't ran that slow since 2019. I actually ran faster when I won it in 2019 than I did there this year, so that was quite unfortunate, but the nice thing is a really brutal experience is also a very motivating experience, and so it was very motivating to come off that race and refocus and get.
We just finished pro press conference. We're here at the merch tent. As you guys can see, I had to get Pops a shirt. After here, we're gonna go ahead and check in our run bag. So we'll catch you on a bit.
What'd you do? Yeah, nice.
43. What's up, Nick? What's up? Oh look, I'm right here, right next to you.
Let's go.
I'm on the other side though. This side. 8:43. The bag is in. The bag is in. Day 4 of us being out here in Pennsylvania. Day 4. It is race day. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We're about to head over to bike transition, get all our stuff together. And yeah, and 7:05 is race time. So catch you after the race.
Ladies, let's go. Good job! You're doing great! You're doing great! You got it! You got it! You got it! Good job! Good job, Mike! Let's go! Now I just need to lift this. How was it? Yeah. Pretty good. Jay, doing great, buddy. At the end of it, I feel like. Come on, Ed.
You look good. Nice pace.
Let's go, Ed. You got this. You're doing great. Let's go, Anthony!
She's right there. She's got a good angle on that.
Come on, Anthony! Yeah!
How far is your dad?
Like 45, 30 and ahead of you?
All right, congratulations to our next finisher, Anthony Campman from Mineola, Florida, right by me, right in Central Florida. Andy Blowers. Uh-oh, look at these. Andy's giving hot dog vibes, like mustard, ketchup. Matt Estella, Michael Estella, and Paul Kareem.
Alright guys, what is up? We are going to go ahead and dive into a race recap of Ironman 70.3 Happy Valley out in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, the day of the race, I wasn't able to bring out the camera or my phone or anything. We kind of just wanted to just take the moments and just focus on what I needed to focus on. And then also during the race, you can't have any sort of cameras, communication devices, or any music or anything. It's just Ironman, it's just all mental. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dive into the morning of. The morning of, we woke up early. Woke up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. We went ahead and we ate about 2 to 3 bagels, I believe. Had a bottle of carbs, 20 grams of carbs of G1M Sport. So we felt good. The morning went well. We got a good night's rest. Body felt good, ready to go. Nothing was hurting. And everything went well so far in the morning. Then we go ahead and head over to transition 1, which is where the bike was at. We had to go ahead and drop off our bike bag, so I had to go ahead and leave my cycling shoes, cleats, load up the bike with the gels and the carbs, kind of just set up that first transition how I like, so that way when I got out the water of the swim, I can go ahead and get on the bike, grab what I need to grab, and then head out. So that went well. At this point during the day, a little bit of a weird feeling, as in a good thing, not like weird as in bad. Weird, it was weird as in good. I wasn't nervous or of anything. Like, I wasn't nervous about anything. You know, I felt like I was ready. The work was done. There was just no going back from it. You can't go out and do an extra run training. You can't go out and get on the bike and do another training ride, and you can't get in the water and do another training swim. So, you know, you're already there and the work is already done. I felt ready and I was ready to go. We go ahead and we finish all that, and then we go ahead and throw the wetsuit on. Now, the wetsuit was not legal for this race. The water temperature was 77.5, I believe. It was over wetsuit legal limit, and unfortunately this race was not wetsuit legal. I went ahead and still threw on the wetsuit. Now, for you guys that don't know, if you wear the wetsuit, you are excluded from all qualifying, age group awards, anything. Now, I went in with the mindset like, yeah, I'm not winning any of that stuff. So I'm not the fastest out there at all. And I knew I wasn't gonna win any age group qualifying awards of anything. So I was like, screw it, I'm gonna wear the wetsuit. I'm gonna go out in the swim, feel comfortable, have the buoyancy so I could float. And it's kind of what I've been training in all this time with all the swimming I've been doing. I've been training in some Sim Pro 3 buoyancy shorts with Roka. So it's shorts that have the same effect of the entire wetsuit. So my whole training session was with buoyancy shorts. Now moving forward, I'm gonna go ahead and change that, probably do some trainings with it, some trainings without it, so I can go ahead and get both sides of the training and not just focus straight on buoyancy. So I went ahead and threw the wetsuit on. And I got into the water at 7:46 a.m. Now, all age grouper swims all started around like 7:05 after they let out the pros, the pro men and the pro females. It was like 10 minutes after, then they started the age group swim for all age groupers. I got into the water probably 40 minutes later than all age groupers. So I got into like 7:46, they started like 7:05, and I'm not even in the water yet and people are already coming out. You know, there's some fast swimmers out there that start as soon as the buzzer goes off and they just take off, finish in 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So there's some very fast swimmers out there. I ended up completing the entire swim at 38 minutes and 28 seconds. This is the fastest time I have ever recorded on any full distance swim for an Ironman 70.3. It's saying that my average pace was 2 minutes per 100. I think the tracker is just a little off. I believe my pace was like 149 or a little over 150 per 100. Because if my pace was a 2 minute pace per 100, it would have been a little over 40 minutes. So the swim overall went super well. The swim, if you guys don't know, it's a literal war zone. Like when they say the swim is a war zone, it literally is a war zone. It's every man for themselves at this point. Yeah, the Ironman race is, you know, just you versus you at the end of the day. But the swim itself is like a literal war zone. You know, you can, on the bike, you can slow down. On the run, you can walk. On the swim, you can't stop. Like there's no stopping or you drown. Can you go on your back? Yes. Can you backstroke? Yes. Can you do breaststrokes? Yes. Can you stop, float if you know how to float? Yes. But at the end of the day, whether you float or not, there's gonna be hundreds and hundreds of people coming from behind you. Unless you're like dead last, the last person to go. There was points where I was in the middle of the swim and there's people, you know, that look like they're struggling for their lives. So the swim is literally a war zone. I saw people hanging on kayakers. I seen kayakers rescuing people out in the middle of the water, like halfway through the swim because they couldn't do it anymore. People doing breaststroke, people doing backstrokes to catch their breaths. I'm sure I kicked a decent amount of people. I had somebody try to swim over me. Didn't let it happen. I just sped up to swim. My swim stroke, I just sped it up just a little bit so I can avoid somebody coming over me. People touching my ankles. I grabbed somebody's ankles to move them out the way and prevent them from kicking me. I got hit in the arm. Man, the swim is just the overall war zone. Like, it's just every man for themselves. Everybody's trying to get through the swim. Nobody wants to drown, obviously. And that's it. I mean, that's all it comes down to. It's just you getting through the water, and everybody's almost super comfortable once they get out the water. Everybody's already ready for the bike. Everybody's like, all right, if we get tired on the bike, we can just slow down. But like I said, you can't do that in the swim. For me, the swim went very well. I passed a lot of people. Do I know how many? I have no idea. I know I passed a lot of people that were not in wetsuits. Wetsuiters started very last, almost 10 minutes after all age groupers already went out. I passed a lot of people during the swim that weren't wearing wetsuits, so I was already ahead of majority of the people. Not the majority, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I was already ahead of people that already started way before me. Swam the entire distance nonstop. Swam freestyle the entire time. Was not tired. Didn't get fatigued at all during the race. The only thing I could say that I felt in the very first 100 to 200 was my triceps start to tighten up. But once I got warmed up and ready to go, the rest of the swim just went completely smooth. Didn't cramp, didn't get tired, nothing. Got out the water. Like I said, recorded my fastest swim overall in that race. 38 minutes and 28 seconds. Went into T1, which is transition 1. Transition 1 took me 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Now, I only think it took me that long. I definitely could have cut off some time if I set up properly, but it's my first triathlon, so you know, it's trial and error. We're learning as we go. 6 minutes and 33 seconds. I had to take the wetsuit off, so that also took some time, and then getting the socks on, shoes on, everything, and then head out and get on the bike. Left T1, got on the bike, and started the bike at like 8:31 in the morning, and started the ride. The beginning of the ride, you go off to the right, go down, I believe it was like 1.5 miles, and then you do a quick turnaround, and then you start the whole direct route over to Penn State University. I would say the first 25 miles were all fast. Like, it's all pretty much gradual downhills and downhills, majority of the first 25 miles. So at this point, I think I was averaging 22 to 23 miles an hour the first 25 miles, roughly. And then the hills start to kick in. This was a very hilly course, 34 to 3,500 feet of elevation. I studied the course, so I knew at certain mile points when certain climbs were coming up, especially the biggest one towards the end of the bike ride. The bike went very well. Recorded my fastest time split of 3:05, 3 hours and 5 minutes. So the bike went very well. The only issue I had with the bike was, like I said, the whole entire race was a science experiment and a trial and error. And I bought new cycling shoes, new triathlon cycling shoes. so that way I could slip in and slip out as fast as I could. They're made for triathlon racing. And I made that mistake in about mile 30. I don't know if you guys ever had this sensation when you bought some new athletic shoes. I'm sure you don't really get it that much when you wear like regular casual shoes just to go out and walk and stuff. But if you play any sports or anything and you get fresh new pairs of shoes, that feeling you get underneath your feet where they feel like they're cramping up and they're hurting the whole time, I felt that about roughly around mile 30. And the whole bike course is 56 miles. So I did 26 miles with my feet literally hurting the whole time. Other than that, I felt amazing on the bike. Thighs, quads, everything. Nothing was hurting. I felt amazing on the bike. So I did the rest of the bike with my feet hurting. At some points I would be in my aero bars and I would just lift my feet up on the pedal since I'm clipped in, just to get the soles of my feet off the soles of the shoes and kind of just have them just float in there for a little bit to ease off the pain. So other than that, I felt great on the bike. Like I said, I studied the course. So I knew at certain checkpoints or certain mile markers, I was going to hit certain climbs. So roughly around mile 38, I was like, big climb is coming. Big climb is coming. Big climb was 3 miles long. And I believe you gain 1,800 feet of elevation on just one single climb. Anybody that cycles or anything, you know a 3 mile climb is a long time. Like 3 miles going up a hill is long. We've trained hills and stuff like that, but obviously there's no hills that I know in this area that is 3 miles long. It was a slow, gradual climb. It was not very, very steep, but you did gain 1,800 feet in one single hill. You go over the hill and it's all downhill, it's fast and stuff like that, and then towards the end of the bike, closer to T2, there's another big hill. It wasn't long 3 miles, but it was a lot steeper. So bike went well, hilly course, fastest bike recorded for 56 miles. Also the first time I complete 56 miles without stopping. Now we go out on rides out here and sometimes we'll stop. We got bike barns and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and refill, get water, Gatorade, sodas, anything that we can get, you know, just to complete the bike riding, you know, keep doing our workout, make sure we're hydrated. Obviously on race days is a little different. On the race, there's hydration stations. You're more than welcome to stop, but I didn't want to stop. I had all my bottles that I needed for my bike ride and everything, and I didn't want to stop. So at some points I would go ahead and grab a bottle while riding the bike, drink as much as I could because it was cold, go ahead and toss it so that way I can go ahead and get rid of it since all my bottle cages were already filled. Finish the bike. Then we go ahead and get into T2. T2 took me 5 minutes and 41 seconds, and then got into T2. Like I said, mile 30, my feet were hurting. I go ahead, dismount from the bike, and take my feet out of the shoes while riding the bike, put my feet on top of the shoes, pedal until I get to the point where I have to get off, and my feet are actually destroyed. My feet are hurting, cramped. They're like cramped up, and I'm limping into T2. I'll go ahead and upload a little small clip, but I'm literally limping into T2 because my feet are hurting so bad. At this point in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm at the run. I'm at the run already. We've already made it this far. We're gonna finish. Doesn't matter how we finish. There's no option. The quitting option is not there. Like, that's not happening. We've already made it so far, and we're gonna finish the race. So I go ahead and sit on the floor. I'll go ahead and upload the clip just so I could get weight off of my feet so that way they can calm down a little bit. I go ahead and slip my shoes on. Probably the best shoes ever. As soon as I put them on, stood up, feet were still hurting, but like they weren't hurting anymore. Like they were still hurting, but like I could barely feel them because the shoes were so cushiony. It just didn't bother me anymore. Started light jogging out of T2 just to see how my feet are gonna feel. And then as I started light jogging, I was like, okay, this is not that bad. We can go ahead and we'll complete the 13 miles, no problem. I felt great. Legs weren't hurting. Like I said, the only thing that was hurting was my feet. Start the run, and I'm like, okay, this feels good. Like I'm good. I'll go ahead and be able to run the pace I want to run. I just got to keep the feet moving, keep the blood flow, and I'll be good. It's a 2-lap course. And then after your second lap, you go out for your second lap, and before you start a third one, the third one you finish at the finish line. You don't go ahead and start again. The laps were mentally draining. The first one was pretty easy, and then when you start the second one, you go into your brain and you're like, holy crap, I gotta do that all over again. The laps were long. They weren't short. They were really long. At least they felt long. Now the run was only 13.1 miles, but the laps just felt long. So we go ahead and we're running. We feel good. We take it easy in the beginning because I have a tendency of blowing up on runs towards the end. Not necessarily where like I'm hurting super bad. It's just like stomach turns, I'll cramp up, just stuff like that would mess up the run. I knew my stomach would turn at some point. I just didn't know when. Because during the entire race, I was taking things that I never took during training. I never took any stuff during training besides drinking water when I go on my rides and stuff like that or runs, because I never found anything that I actually really liked. Everything that I've taken in the past would like either just be very nasty or like I would just get really nauseous to it. So the whole race was a science experiment, only because a week or two before the race, I actually found these gels that I actually really liked. These Go gels, mixed berry. I was like, okay, these are actually pretty good. Like I can take these. And then I took some scratch carbs, 56 grams. And I was like, okay, in the beginning, I can get through this. It's almost like a watered down lemonade. And I can deal with that. But I've never taken them, so my gut was not used to it or nothing. So the whole hydration stuff was just a science experiment all day, which they always say not to do. Unfortunately, I really just didn't have any option, and I just downed everything that needed to be downed, whether I liked it or not. Only so that way my body can get through everything with no problems. So the run went well in the very beginning. I felt good. Then mile 8 came around. This is where everything turned. My stomach started to turn. I started to get really nauseous. I don't know if you guys ever felt that sensation in your throat where you get like a little knot and it almost feels like if you go any further, you're gonna throw up. I felt that the entire time for the rest of the race after mile 8. I felt like I was gonna puke everywhere. My stomach was hurting. There was no pace that I couldn't run that even felt comfortable without it hurting. I was running at one point a 18-minute pace, which is like damn near walking, and I still feel like I was gonna throw up. So the last 5 miles became walk run. So I go ahead and walk, take a break, breathe, drink water, stomach calms down. Start trying to run again, stomach hurts again. Like it was just on and off the whole time. I'll slow down, I'll start to feel a little bit better, then I'll start running and it'll get worse. Now at this point, I'm like, I'm almost there. Like like I said, the option of quitting was never in the back of my head at all. Like if I'm gonna get to the finish line, I'm gonna get there one way or another, crawling, rolling, one way or another, I'm gonna get there. There's no quitting at all. Like that's not happening. I would die before I quit. Like that's not happening. So like I said, the last 5 miles were a run walk. I had a goal time in mind of 6 hours, going under 6 hours, and that was all in my hands until about mile 8. If I would have just dogged out mile 8, probably puked everywhere and just kept going, I'd be fine. But I had instances during my run training workouts where I go out on an empty stomach. Stomach will cramp up, stomach would turn on me. I feel like I'm gonna puke, I'll get nauseous. And there was one time where I went out for a 10-mile run, came back home, and literally saw stars. Like I almost passed out. Didn't want that to happen. I knew the limits of my body, and I knew that if I pushed it to a certain limit, that there's a possibility that I would probably pass out. There's been injuries that I've been dealing with, hip injuries towards the end of my training plans, shoulder injuries. These are all minor injuries, never got them physically checked, but a lot of discomfort during training. So like I said, I knew limits to my body that I can go to. But overall, the race went super well, you know. Finished my first Ironman 70.3, a race that I dreamed about, watched videos on. And once I got into the triathlon stuff, it was just something I really, really wanted to do. It's a race that I thought 3 months ago was super impossible to complete. I finally completed it. So it's a great accomplishment, something that I always have in my memory books for the rest of my life. And yeah, we do have other races in mind that we have in the back of our mind right now that we might want to do moving forward. We are already signed up for Ironman 70.3 in Puerto Rico. So in March, we'll be in Puerto Rico doing that race. But there are some other races that I want to do before this year ends. So we'll keep y'all posted on that. But in the meantime, we're just gonna go ahead and keep training, get better, get faster, and we're gonna go ahead and beat that time in the next race. Peace.